I mean, use this example. If you were to get a bunch of people, maybe in your workplace or your town or whatever, and you were to line them up on any basis, let's use attractiveness for this one. You lined them up and the most attractive people were there, and you had some criteria, and the least attractive were there. All right, and you've got them all in a line on how attractive they are. And you would imagine that if you take a middle point, then everybody in the top half would be happy because they're above average, and everyone in the bottom half, below average, would be unhappy. That would be a logical way to look at it. But do you know what happens as you get towards the top 25%, 20%, the top 5% of the most attractive people? What do you think happens about their sense of self and their sense of looks? Who do you think is most insecure in that line? Do you think it's the bottom 5% who are most insecure about their looks? Because all the research and all the conversations with people who are at the top of the tree, whether it's wealth or looks or whatever, actually insecurity increases as you go up the tree. We've got lots of studies and lots of quotes from people that insecurity goes up. And why does insecurity go up the further you go up the tree? Because there's no comparison, there's no win, in comparison. Because if you build your identity and you get a sense of self from comparing, and so yeah, you're better than somebody else, but you know deep down that makes you vulnerable because eventually someone else goes above you. You're insecure at keeping that. It's the same, you could do the line in terms of wealth or the line in terms of achievements or whatever it might be. The people at the top can be insecure, that envy, even if you're winning, can still rot your bones. It can give a sense of insecurity. And we've all got what I call an We've all got a sense of our which might be, it's about being richer, or it might be about being better, or it might be about having houses cleaner. It might be about being sexier. It might be about being more of an achiever. It might be about being a better runner. It can be all sorts of things, and it's different for each of us. I wonder what your is. I wonder where envy and comparison hits you. I wonder where it is. Maybe it's about other people's kids or your career or your money. Where is it that you get maybe a sense of identity of being a bit better than others, or get a bit of insecurity about where you are in compared to being others? Because Solomon, who says that envy rots the bones, he has another image that can be really, really helpful. You know, because it's easy to have this comparison thing. How do we defeat it in our lives? And he has a really, really useful image, and it's in Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 4. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 4. He says this, he says, I observe that most people are motivated to success because they envy their neighbours. He says the thing that's driving people, the people that moving people forward, is actually comparison with others. That's driving them to get more money. That's driving them to achieve more. It's a bit of a driver, is comparison. And he's an image that you might want to meditate on, you might want to chew over, that he has. He says, but it's meaningless, it's frustrating, it's pointless, it's fruitless, he says. It's like chasing the wind. There's the image. It's like chasing the wind. That when we are influenced by others and we're kind of comparing ourselves to others, and when we're better than others, we feel great. When we're not so good, we feel bad. He says it's like chasing the wind. Just play around with that for a minute in your mind. Chasing the wind. What's he trying to say? You're chasing the wind. I mean, you never catch the wind, do you? It's endless. You just keep going. You're chasing. You actually never get there. Even though you've got this lineup and you feel like you're getting to the top of the tree, it looks like that. Actually, there is no end. You're just chasing the wind. You're giving off lots of energy. It's just exhausting. It never, ever stops. As soon as you get to the top, you're only there for a few minutes and someone else has come and challenged you. And you're only there a few minutes and you start to feel insecure. It's just endless. It never stops. That's why some people are in debt. They're in massive amounts of debt, and they're in more debt, and they pay off a bit of debt, and then they get a bit more debt because they're chasing the wind. They can't resist taking out the next expensive holiday, the expensive car, all right, upgrading their tech, spending it on things to make themselves feel better. But they're just chasing the wind. Those who overwork, say they're providing for their family, or they're doing it because it has to be done for their career, but it's chasing the wind. If you're working too hard, if you're a workaholic, if you're kind of driven by an identity of what you're achieving, it's just chasing the wind. It's exhausting. It's just never ends. It'll just go on and on. And you might want to think about where comparison connects with you. Where do you look at others? And just in your mind, reframe your thinking to think, you know what, that's just like chasing the wind.